Hello everyone, I welcome you to this session on Python programming. In today's session, we'll be discussing about the constructor and destructor methods in Python. Now, a constructor in Python is represented by the init method written as underscore underscore init underscore underscore and the destructor method as underscore underscore del underscore underscore. Apart from that, we'll do a few programs for practice so that we understand the concept of constructors and destructors. So let me just begin today's session by opening up a code for you guys, which would make you understand what a constructor in Python is. So I've taken up a class xyz with two attributes, name and age, initialized as name as blank and age as 0. Then I've taken a method init. You can see it is written as two underscores init two underscores. And just like any other method in a class in Python, it must have the first argument as self. And then I've taken a function show, which displays both these attributes, name and age. So if I run this program, it will print the message inside the constructor. So obviously we understand that a constructor need not be invoked explicitly by the programmer. It is invoked automatically once an instance of the class is created. That means once we create an object of this class xyz, the control automatically transfers to this init method, and within it the message inside the constructor is printed, and also the attributes name and age are assigned the values Ajay and 45 respectively. So if I try to print the value of the attribute name here, so this I'm doing after the instance of the class has been created. So obviously it is going to print the name for us. Similarly, if I just invoke this method show, then it will display both the attributes which have been assigned the values as Ajay and 45. So if this constructor function would not have been automatically invoked, the values would have been printed as name equal to space and age equal to 0. But since once you create an object of this class xyz ob1, then this method init is automatically called and whatever the content in it is executed. So I'm going to run this code for you now, and you can see the output as inside the constructor, because you first go to the constructor, the values are initialized, and once you call show method, then these values are printed. Now let us take another example so that the concept of constructor is clear to you all. Let me pick up this program in which I calculate the area of a circle using the constructor approach. Now I've taken up a class circle, and I've taken up the init method to initialize an argument pi. Okay, so it is done here. The value of the pi, the attribute pi, would be initialized by the argument pi which I pass when I create an object of the class. So since this constructor is having one argument now, okay, so once the object is created, that argument should be passed here. Obviously if I just create the object like I've been doing previously, then it would be a mismatch, because I'm trying to invoke, I'm creating an instance of the class circle, I'm not passing anything. So this object creation would be looking for a default constructor or a init method with no arguments in it, and if it does not find it, it will return an error, as you can see here. Okay, so to make it work, you need to pass the argument here, which is then provided to pi. Okay, and then it is assigned to the attribute pi here. So if I run this code now like this, once I create an instance, the constructor is invoked, and if I try to print the value of pi then through the object ob1, it will be printed as 3.142, as you can see in this output. Okay, then further, if I need to print the area of the circle, then obviously I take up one method area with an argument rad, which stands for radius, and then self.pi star radius would give you the area of the circle. So what I can do is I can just input the value of r here, with the input statement, and obviously choosing an automatic data type at runtime with the eval function. And if I run this program now, and if I provide the value of the radius as 10, the answer is in front of you. So this is how we see the working of the constructor, which is a very effective approach in modular programming, because we can see that all our variables of the class, the attributes of class could be initialized here in this init, and we can have different modules for calculating different things. Like for in this class circle, we have this init method to initialize the value of pi and the area method to calculate the area of the circle. Let us now discuss what is a destructor. So as you learned previously in C++, destructor is something which releases the memory which was provided to the attributes through the constructor. So to understand the concept of destructors in Python, let me open up a code for you. Now there is a del method in Python, as I discussed with you. Similarly, it is written similar to the init method as underscore underscore del underscore underscore. So I've taken up a class demo underscore destructor, in which there is a constructor, the init method, and there is a destructor, the del method. So once the constructor is invoked, it will print the message inside the constructor. And once the destructor is invoked, it will print the message. Destructor now cleans up all memory accessed by this class. But it is very important to understand that destructor is invoked only when all the reference to the object has been removed. Okay, so let's take up this example in which I first construct an object ob1 of the class demo underscore destructor. Then I create another object ob2 by copying its reference from ob1, and ob3 also from copying its reference from ob1. So if I try to print the ID of all these ob1, that is the memory reference of all these objects, it would be the same since they are similar. Okay, and then in this example, I'm going to delete ob1, the reference ob1. But once I've done it, ob1 has been deleted. ob2 and ob3 are still holding up that memory. So this destructor function del won't be invoked unless and until I remove all the references, that is ob2, ob3 and ob1. So let me just first run this code for you. So as you see, only the constructor has been invoked. It says inside the constructor, and then IDs of all the objects is displayed. Fine. Then I delete ob1. So this destructor has not been invoked. So to invoke it, I need to delete. Say if I write here del ob2, even then the destructor won't be invoked because a reference is still there. That reference is ob3. So let me now try to delete ob3 for you. Okay, if I write this, now you can see that all the memory has been cleaned up. So you can see the message destructor now cleans up all the memory access by this class. So remember the difference, that the constructor or the init method is invoked automatically as soon as you create the first instance of the class, but the destructor, that is the underscore underscore del underscore underscore method in Python, would be working, would be activated only when all the reference to the objects have been removed. So this was all in today's session about constructors and destructors. In my next session, I'll be discussing more on classes and objects. Thank you.